my name is Brittany Bryden. Thanks for hanging out with me today. So I am recording from my local studio here in Ottawa, Pure Living, and today's class is for cyclists or bikers. We're going to do lots of juicy stuff for the hips today. It's going to feel really nice, so you can either do this before or after your cycle, or you can do it on your off day. It'll be great no matter what. So let's get right into it. Turn to face the front of your mat. Make your way into table. And I want you to bring your left knee more towards center and take your right leg straight back, tucking the toes under. So feel like you're pressing the back of the knee up towards the ceiling, and then drive all your weight back. Get that nice stretch to the calf. And then bring your shoulders back over top of the wrists. Now you're going to cross that right leg behind you like you're taking your toes towards the back left corner of the mat. Keeping the foot tucked under, but you're going to rock your hips forwards and backwards. A few more like that. Now bring the shoulders back over top of the wrists. Lift that right leg up and bring that leg center, so the right toes are facing the ground. Support your spine by lifting up to the core, crown of the head reaching forwards. Now bring your right heel in towards the right glute, really squeeze it in. I want you to envision like you have a block or something on your low back and try not to drop that object. So you're going to bring your knee in towards center. Now take your knee directly to the right side without spilling all your weight to the left. And now bring your thigh parallel towards the floor and send that right foot up towards the ceiling. So we're going to do these hip circles. Bring the knee into center. Take the knee out to the side. And then bring your thigh parallel to the floor. So you're going to do a few more. So really be mindful that you're not collapsing through the core, that you're not dropping through the chest. You should have even weight through the hands. And then you'll go the opposite way. So you're going to rotate the hips to the right, send that right knee to the side, bring it forwards, knee to center, and then send the foot back up to the ceiling. Keep going. Long neck, try not to tuck your chin in. All right, so next time that you take your knee directly to the side, I want you to stay there. Straighten your right leg and set your right foot down onto the floor. And then do those rocks again. You're going to shift forwards and then shift your weight back. Forwards and backwards. Keep going. And we're going to add a little bit more here. So when you send the hips back, I want you to turn your right toes up towards the ceiling. So externally rotate from the hip. And then come forwards again, ground the right foot. Rock back, and then come forwards. A few more like that. Last one. And then when you come forward, stay there. So ground that right foot. Place your left hand on the ground and take your right hand behind the back of the head. So you're going to open the chest towards the right, send that right elbow up. And then tap your right elbow to the left elbow, keeping that left arm straight. Open the chest to the right, send the elbow up, and then tap the right elbow to the left elbow. And you'll keep going. You're just moving at your pace with your breath. Now next time that you open up, reach that right arm up towards the ceiling, pull that top hand away from the bottom hand, and then set your right hand down, followed by the right knee. Now take your left leg straight back, tuck your toes under, and then drive all your weight back into that heel. Shoulders come back over top of the wrists. And now take your left foot over towards the back right corner of your mat. Keep the toes tucked under, and then start to do those rocks. Now bring your shoulders over top of the wrists again. Lift that left leg up, bring it center. Toes face the ground, hug in through the core, support the spine. Bring that left heel tight towards the glute. Bring the knee in towards center. Take the knee directly to the side without transferring all your weight to the right. And then bring your thigh parallel to the floor as you send that left foot back up to the ceiling. And then keep going with the rotations in that direction. Taking your time, try not to rush it. And when you're ready, you'll go the opposite way. When your knee comes out to the side, we'll meet there. So keep the leg lifted for a moment, straighten the leg directly to the side, and ground your foot down. You're just going to transfer your weight forwards and backwards. And then now, adding that external rotation from the hip, send the hips back, turn that left toes up towards the ceiling, and then come forwards, ground the foot. Send the hips back, turn the toes up, and then come forwards. Keep going. Last one. Good. So keep the legs, ground your right hand, and take your left hand behind the back of the head. Open the chest to the left, send your elbow up, and then tap your left elbow to the right elbow. And then keep going, feeling that rotation through the thoracic. And then next time that you open up, reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. And then set your hand and your knee down to the floor. Tuck your toes under. You're going to pick your hips up and back for downward dog. So as the hips go back, walk out the legs. And then I want you to come into a wider and a shorter downward dog. So start by walking your feet about mat distance apart, and then walk your feet forwards a little bit. You can bend those knees as much as you need. Just keep lifting the hips up and back. Feel that nice length of the spine. Then take your left hand and reach for the outside of your right ankle. We're going to add a twist. You're going to roll the chest underneath that right arm. Keep grounding through that right hand. Just keep sending the hips back. And then left hand comes to the floor. Right hand to the outside of your left ankle. Rotate the chest towards the left. Keep sending the hips back. And then set your right hand down. So you're going to lift your heels up, bend the knees, look forwards, and just walk your feet forwards until they come to the outside of your hands. So your feet are going to be at least mat distance apart. Turn your feet out slightly, bend the knees, and start to lower the hips down from a Alasana squat. Now your heels might be lifted, that's okay. Just make sure your knees are tracking over top of the second toe. So use your abductor muscles and the glutes to actively press the knees open. Broad through the chest, and you can take those arms to the inside of the legs to help guide that action. Just make sure they're not doing all the work. Maybe close your eyes here. Take one more breath. And then set the hands down, lift the hips up, a wide-legged, or not wide-legged, a ragdoll. So just bring your feet parallel. I guess it is a little bit wide-legged. Bend the knees, just drape over top of the legs. Maybe shake out the head. You can reach for either elbow, rock side to side. And then bring your hands back down onto the ground. Lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. And then fold, bend your knees. Keep your left foot where it is and take a big step back with your right leg. So you're just going to wiggle the right toes back. Both hands are to the inside of that left foot. Keep power in the right leg and just come forwards and backwards in the hip. Maybe do some figure of eights, whatever feels good here. Keep going for 3, for 2, and 1. You're going to set that back knee down onto the floor. Untuck the back toes, press the top of that right foot into the ground. Stay on your fingertips. You can come to the fists, or maybe you have those blocks there. And just start to lift the chest up. So really root that left foot on the floor and then feel like you're dragging that heel towards your back knee. Then you can stay on the hands. Maybe you come down to one forearm or maybe both forearms. Two more breaths here. So if you are on the forearms, make your way back onto the hands. Now turn your right toes to face the left side of the mat. So your hips are going to start to open up to the right. Leave that left hand where it is. Actively press the arm and the leg. Reach that right arm up towards the ceiling and lift the chest up. So really try to roll that left glute under. And then getting more of a side bend, reach that right arm towards the front of your mat. So biceps going to hover above the ear. And feel like you're pulling that right hand away from that right hip. And then you're going to bring yourself all the way up. And you're going to come down onto your left knee. Now, I'm going to turn to face you so my butt's not in your face. Now, from here, you're going to come down onto your hands. You can fold the mat over to give your knees some padding. There's a few options. So you're either going to come into a super wide child's pose, so your toes will come together, take your knees nice and wide, or you're going to make your way into frog. Might not be your favorite, that's okay. In frog, heels in line with the knees, hips in line with the knees. So try not to go too far forwards and try not to go too far back. So once you find that spot that feels good-ish, we'll stay there. So you can either stay in the forearms, you can rest your head onto the hands. Maybe you have a pillow nearby and you want to use that on your belly, anything like that. And in the moments of stillness, be aware of what thoughts you're picking up. You've carved this time out for you, so try to stay here with me on your mat and not get lost in whatever narrative you're creating. You have 2 more breaths here. Now you're going to come onto your hands. Tuck your toes under, and this is going to be like a really wide downward dog. Lift the hips up and back. Just pedal at the legs. Adjust your feet so they're back onto your mat. Walk your hands towards the front of your mat now. Bring your hands to the inside of that left foot. Walk that left foot out a little bit wider. Bend your back knee, push off of it. Right foot comes to the outside of your right hand. Turn your feet out slightly, Malasana squat. Bend the knees, lower the hips down, bring your hands together in prayer. So this time we're going to add a little arm. So take your right arm in front of the right leg, reach to the side. Keep pressing that left knee open, left arm to the ceiling, lift your chest up. And then bring your hands back together in prayer. Take that left arm in front of the left leg, right arm up towards the ceiling. Hands come together in prayer. Set the hands down, lift the hips up, bring your feet parallel, fold over top of the legs. Take a halfway lift to lengthen. And then bend your knees, take a big step back with your left leg. Hands come to the inside of that right foot. Make your stance nice and long and just shift your weight forwards and backwards. Keep going for 3, 2, and then set your back knee to the floor. Press the top of that left foot into the ground. Ground your right foot into the mat. Again, you can stay here, or maybe come down to one forearm or both forearms. Great opportunity to close your eyes. Breathing into the spaces where you feel some restriction. Last 2 breaths. If you are in the forearms, come back onto your hands. Turn your left toes to face the right side of the mat. So right arm is to the inside of that right leg. Roll the right glute under and reach that left arm up towards the ceiling. Left hand's now going to reach towards the front of your mat. So bicep just above the ear and just keep lifting that chest up. And then bring yourself all the way up. You're turning to face the left side of your mat. Come down onto your right knee. I know, we're doing it again. I know you were hoping we weren't, but we are. So make your way into that wide-legged child's pose or your frog variation. If you would like a wide-legged split, that works too. Either way, ready? Join me. makes you feel any better, it's the last time we're doing it. Done. Come onto your hands, tuck your toes under that super wide downward dog, pedal at the legs. Walk your feet back onto your mat. Turn to face the front of your mat. Hands are going to frame your right foot, turn on the ball of your back foot, and then this time step back into downward dog. You're going to lower down onto your knees. Swing your legs to either side and come down onto your bums. So as you take the legs out in front of you, just give them a good shake. Now I want you to bend your left knee, set your left foot down on the ground. We're going to find our way into a figure four. So you're going to place your right foot on top of the left thigh. Hands come behind you, open that right knee out to the right side. You can be further away from that left heel, or you can bring yourself closer. It just depends on how that feels for you. Either way, stay open through the chest. So try not to roll through the shoulders. And you can stay still, or you can add a little rock. Okay, so this next one's a little bit of a love-hate situation. If you're close to the heel, you're gonna back yourself up. So straighten your left leg. Now I want you to take the sole of your right foot into your left elbow crease. So you're wrapping the arm around the shin. If that's not available, just take your hand to the foot and just try to keep your foot lifted rather than bringing the heel in towards you. So now your right hand's gonna go off to the right side, and I want you to lean all your weight over to the right. From there, you're just gonna do some circles. Eee, tender. So just finding some sweet spots. I found a few. And just keep rolling. All right, that's enough torture for that side. Step your right foot to the outside of your left leg. You can choose to have that bottom leg straight, or you can bend the knee and tuck your heel in. Either way, your right hand comes behind you on the floor. Your left arm's gonna reach up. So inhale to create space. And then exhale, you're gonna twist to the right, take your left arm outside of the leg, and just start to look back over top of the shoulder. And then bring yourself back to center. Both legs go out in front of you for a moment, shake it out. And now left foot on top of the right thigh. Bend your right knee, set the right foot on the ground, hands behind you. Adjust yourselves either closer or further away from the heel. Lift the chest up and then just stay still or rock a little side to side. So if you are closer to that heel, back it up a little bit. Straighten your right leg. Now place your left foot into your right elbow crease. Wrapping the right arm around the shin, left hand on the ground. Transfer your weight over to the left and start to roll. Okay, that's enough on that side. Step your left foot outside of your right thigh. Left hand on the floor behind you. Again, option to bend that right knee if you want it. Right arm reaches up, twist over to the left, take that right arm outside of the leg, and then look back. And then bring yourself back to center. Legs out in front of you, give them a good shake. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. So if you enjoy this video, please like it, share it with somebody you think might enjoy it as well. And I'll see you next time. Bye.